In the early days, just meeting Ryan, I was just trying to figure out how to write bits for him. So I was like, well, what are you good at? And he's like, oh, I like to BMX a lot.
Get him! Show him who's captain!
He already said he rode BMX, and then, like, further investigation, I found that, yeah, he does ride, but he doesn't really ride away from anything.
And he was very much into, like, going for things that, you know, there was no way he was going to make it from the beginning. And it wasn't because he was so brave either, but he was just, you know, he was willing to accept what was going to happen to him.
That's why we call you Dr. Kick-Ass. Now hit it.
Yeah, he was very graceful in his wipeouts. Not really, actually. Now that I think about it, he slammed pretty hard.
If we're trying to do a stunt and people keep landing it, we would just send in Ryan to finish it off. I think Bam was great at it the first time, and now Dunn stepped in to up the failure rate to an all-time high. I don't think he ever landed anything except for on his face, which worked for us.
If he wasn't pranking you or trying to get you while we're filming, then outside of that, he was like the most genuine rad dude.
If Jackass is looking for a certain type, it's a guy that's just so willing to do something that he knows is going to fail, he knows it's going to hurt, and do it with such grace and style. He was the epitome of a jackass, you know?
What have you been kind of dreading the most about shooting in the film? Like, what stunt were you kind of the most worried about before you did it?
I put a toy car in my butt. You really have to ask me that.
We were filming the first movie, and Steve-O was supposed to shove the car up his butt, but Steve-O had just told us that he's not going to do it.
Put it this way, Bam. What's the point of being in a Hollywood movie if every mother that sees the Hollywood movie comes up to you and says, hey, saw you shove something up your ass?
You're that dude who shoved the car up your ass.
I mean, really?
Ryan Dunn walks in. I go, well, Steve-O just told us that he's not doing the car up the ass bit. And Ryan's like, well, someone's got to do it. And right then the light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, Ryan, you're right. Someone does have to do it, buddy.
I mean, it just has to be done. It's too good not to be done. I'll do it. I mean, and I want to. Don't think I'm crazy and I want to go get hurt or I want to shove things into my butt. I just know that it'll be funny, so I'm going to go do it.
Now I'm lubing up
You can't see the car.
the little toy car because I'm going to put it in my butt.
He just did it like a champ, by the way. I mean, he was chilling with that thing in his butt for the whole day. And it was just one camera and done, and I don't think anyone could have pulled that off like he did.
Well, that's not part of you. That's something extra.
I would have known if I ate that.
No, you won't be able to swallow that. That's just a car toy.
Well, how did a car toy get there?
Maybe you stuck it up your ass.
I didn't stick anything up my ass.
Butt X-ray was and probably still is the best thing we ever shot.
Just go to the doctor, you don't talk to anybody, to your girlfriend or to your boyfriend or to whatever. You don't tell nobody, right? He already knows that's too many people.
Whenever anyone asked, you know, who he was, if it came up in conversation, I'd say he's the one that's famous for shoving the car up his ass. And that was really, you know, that's the best way to describe him, because that's what he always said. That's what sent him into the new echelon.
I mean, to be honest, dude, whether I wish I did it or not, I didn't have the balls you had, dude, and that's all it takes, dude, to win.
You know what? I think because, you know, Dunn got caught shoving that tiny Corvette up his butt, and
Caught.
and everybody talks about it. So I'm like, well, if everybody remembers that, then I'll do anal bead kite. And then ever since that, I'm like, branded on my ass. I don't care. Like, so I just have a lot of bits involving my ass simply because he got caught shoving a Corvette up his butt.
So you're just admitting to stealing my thunder right here in front of me?
A little bit, right here and now.
Jesus.
That's what you get, enough of the gruff.
Bam and Ryan always stayed so close. I was super good friends with Ryan, but they've always been super tight.
Knoxville has prescription lotion, and that's all he uses. And I got it.
But I got something else. Horse.
Where do you even get horse?
From a horse, idiot.
They had their own lives, but they just were so close. Really, really close. Really close.
I'm not whipping your out.
All right, well, pull the fat up.
Get up.
I'm at it.
You're at it?
Couldn't even call them friends. I'd call them, like, big brother, little brother, and Dunn being the big brother.
Welcome to Bychester. Damn it! It's so not right.
And not just Jackass, even through all the stuff they went through together, they stayed close and remained friends, and that says a lot.
Dunn and I were hands down best friends. Like, we went everywhere together. We flew everywhere together. We'd crack the most random jokes. We had the same sense of humor. He was my main man.
They were two best buds. And it's weird now that it's not like that anymore.
When I first got to Westchester to do Viva La Bam, I was such an outsider. I didn't know Bam, I didn't know Dunn, I didn't know Dico or any of those guys, and they're such a tight-knit group. They wanted nothing to do with me and the crew I was there with.
Me and Dunn pushed the producer's rental car into his rental apartment.
In my dream, I hear the sound of angels or sparkly miracle sounds, and as I open my eyes, the front end of my rental car was inside of the living room of my apartment. And the sound that I thought were angels was the sound of shards of glass falling from the door frame.
I'm so going to jail for that!
$5,000 later, we settled it in court.
It wasn't necessarily the first day, but I felt like immediately over time, Dunn definitely tried to make a connection. And by the time I'd finished up the very first season of Viva La Bam, I just felt like Dunn and I were best friends. I mean, the beauty of Ryan was that he made everybody feel like they were his best friend. He was just that genuinely interested in who you were and what you were about.
And I think more than anything, when I reflect back on meeting him for the first time on the Homewrecker set, is when he saw me for the first time, he just gave me a big hug, like we had been friends forever.
I mean, treated everybody exactly the same. Like, I don't care if you're Johnny Knoxville or, you know, a lighting rigger or whatever. Like, every single person that he talked to or hung out, he made them feel like, you know, they were best buds.
I've never seen Dunn guarded with people. We would be out in public and people, you know, always coming up to him. Like, they wanted an autograph or what. He would sit there and chat with them forever. You know, he just loved talking to people. He's really open. And I wish I was that open.
I was a fan first, you know, and it's pretty rare to meet people and have them be as cool as he was. He truly was a cool dude.
Out of these, which one do you think would be some of the most slippery?
I recommend maybe the soap-based material or vegetable oil. This is a polymer, by the way.
What is polymer?
Polymer is a chemical. No, don't do that.
Ryan and I actually met when I came in to do a chemistry test for Proving Ground, which is the show that we ended up doing on G4.
So does that machine check flavor?
You must be kidding. What are you doing?
That's good.
He just was the most interesting person to talk to. Like, every once in a while I would make a comment about something we were doing or where we were going, and he knew so much stuff about it that I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah, when we first met Ryan, he sold himself as, I'm a pro BMX rider, I'm a race car driver, I'm a scientist, oh man, everything you could imagine.
I believe Ryan Dunn knows what he's doing because he told me he studies physics.
He's serious. He told us that. He's serious.
He could hold a conversation about anything. He'd bullshit his way through it probably, but he actually did have he had a lot of knowledge up there.
It didn't matter if I was talking about synthetic organic chemistry or, you know, process engineering, anything like that. Ryan knew something about it. And not only that, he probably had a company devoted to that particular expertise.
Ryan was quite the entrepreneur. I'm not exactly sure how many companies he really had, but he definitely had a lot of business cards.
Whether it was automotive design,
wastewater reclamation,
aerospace welding,
exfoliating lotions for hands,
RD Design, RD Motorin, RD Financial Solutions.
He was telling me that he worked for some government agency that had aliens in captivity.
And in fact, it was some of his connections, though, that really got us hooked up with the argon that we used for one of my favorite skits that we ever filmed, the chemical spill skit.
Argon is an inert gas. It kills oxygen, but it's really cool when it's in liquid form because it looks like mercury and sprays everywhere.
Ryan hooked that up. I don't know where the hell he got the doer. I don't know how we got liquid argon.
All right, I'll be back.
Good luck.
Don't drop it.
And I don't know how we didn't suffocate in the van, but, you know, it was a lot of fun.
Holy. Oh.
Speaking of Ryan Dunn's business opportunities, the car stereo thing was one of them, and that led to a pretty horrific day.
A kid from school lent him his Volkswagen Jetta so he could drive to the mall, buy a stereo system to hook it up, and he invited me, my brother, and Chris Rabb to go with him.
So we're driving there, and Rabb's screaming in the back, just chaos. We got, like, you know, whoever playing on the radio just cranked, having the time of my life, and I'm speeding because I'm a punk kid.
He's driving like 110 miles an hour to the point where Rabb grabs my seatbelt and buckles me in. 10 seconds later, we flipped 8 times in oncoming traffic.
Like, not like a roll. It was like front to back to front to back.
The car flips, opens up the passenger door, just flies out in the center median over the oncoming traffic.
Yeah, Ryan was all bloody. They found me in the trees, and Bam broke the window with his head. Rabb was totally fine.
My part of the car, like, nothing had happened to it at all, and I just kind of got out and was just confused. And look at everybody is just in panic, and there's cars like skidding out, getting out. Couldn't believe any of us were alive, let alone all of us.
It was just the worst time of my entire life. And to this day, like, I hate talking to April, Bam's mom, about it because she hated me. And to this day, she probably still has a little bit of hate in her for that accident right there, and I don't blame her because it was horrible. Stupid kids do stupid things.
I was pretty much terrified to ever get in a car with him, and, you know, I agreed to do the Gumball Rally with him, which was around the world in 8 days. Whenever Dunn was driving, I was seriously so terrified that after, like, the 3rd day, I was like, Dunn, you seriously need to stop at a sex shop and buy me a butt plug because I'm going to crap myself.
This is the new race car. We're prepping it now for this year's 12-hour endurance race, and hopefully we won't be landing in 5th or 4th or 3rd. We'll be landing in 1st, or else I'd be very upset.
He is a good race car driver. He did do a race in West Virginia, and he got 1st place.
I don't even know how many cars he had, but he was so into it. He would just, you know, buy these crazy fast cars, take them all apart, put them all back together again, customize them. He was way into it. Full-blown gearhead.
You know, started from skateboards to bicycles to, you know, eventually cars. But anything could get him moving a little faster intrigued him.
What do you think's happening here with this one? Go check his oil.
How about this?
Blew it up again.
Don't buy a car made by Dolce & Gabbana and you'll be fine.